Hello friends, in the last video we saw how to set up basic Flutter code and run it in emulator. In this video we'll see about a project structure and how the flow works and how the execution of the Flutter application works. So first of all, if you expand this first Flutter, you see a couple of folders here. Here from starting from this Dart tools till the readme.md, we have lots and lots of folder. Among this, only few folders are important for us, so this can be ignored and this idea can be ignored. So first thing which we have to concentrate is this Android folder. We have separate folder for Android and iOS. The code conversion into native codes and building of that building in that particular OS takes place inside this Android and iOS folders. If you expand this Android, it will have separate files and folders which is required to convert this code into Android code. So if you see, if you are already familiarized with this Android application development using Java or Kotlin, you may be see similar folder structure to an Android application. So here you'll have build.gradle files, and then inside this Gradle, if you open this src, you'll have main file. Inside this Android manifest.xml. So this is the main file for Android for declaring activities and requiring permissions and whatever we need. And then inside this we have separate files for Java and Kotlin where we have entire code for conversions. So once data is populated and app is successfully built, we'll have some build files related to it. So this will have inside this build folder. So what are the files? What are the code which we write? It's converted into build folders. So this we cannot edit. This is a runtime generated files. Okay, and similarly for as like as Android, we'll have one more separate file for iOS. We'll have entire code conversion, everything inside this files. Inside this runner info.plist, similarly like manifest file, we'll have some permissions, and if you need any information, we'll have to give it a key value pair. So here we are gonna see this in upcoming videos. And this is a appdelegate.swift file. This is like Android. This is one of the important files in iOS. Okay, after that you will see this library folder. This is a main folder containing Dart codes which is written in our file. So this is our main file which we saw. We'll go close this another files. If you open this main.dart, you'll see this run.main which we run. So first time which we run, it shows on the button with that counter. So every code comes here. This is a main and first file which will get run when we run the application. And then test for writing unit test cases or some other test cases for this Flutter application. We'll see that test later. So that's basically contains whether that particular widget or view should contain particular text or not. That's a test. We don't need this test right now. We'll just leave it as it is. And this git ignore for ignoring files which are all no needed to include inside this git repository. So here we can add whatever files we don't need. Basically this build files also no need. It just is for runtime development. So we can include those files. And metadata is auto generated tools by Flutter tools, and packages is also auto generated to track Flutter packages. And this IMI file is project file used by Android Studio. This IML first flutter.iml file, and this pubspec.yaml file is to track the packages which we installed by Flutter Package Manager. And Flutter lock is to this is auto generated file. In this YAML file we'll have packages, and this log file is auto generated file based on this pubspec.yaml. And this readme is for this description to understand how this project and what is this project. This is the usual file which we have in almost all repository for basic understanding of that project. Okay. Now coming to this main file, main.dart entry point for application. So whatever code we write, whatever screens we have, this is an entry point. From this file only we have to navigate to another files. Whatever complex logics or files we have, it will start from this point. So first import. First of all, this is a a slight complex page since we have counter states everything. We'll try to simplify this code for initial purpose. We'll make some modifications in this. Here it's a stateful widget. For now we'll make this as a stateless widget. And then we'll remove this constructor. And also we'll remove this code which contains state example, and we'll cut this build method, overridden method from here and paste it inside this title, below this title, and we'll remove this entire class. And here this returns on widget. So everything is widget, as we said already. Everything in this is widget. Instead of this widget, we'll replace with this. And we'll remove this complex things. We'll see this later. And we'll remove this button. Okay, inside child, we'll have one column widget. Instead of column, we'll replace with text. Okay. It's asking to add const modifier. We'll add that. First, we'll run this code. This code prints hello world text inside our application. Okay, let's see how this works and how this code prints just hello world in our mobile emulator. First, we'll start from first line. First line is an import. Import is basically like we use in all other languages, frameworks, everything, whatever. It basically imports some widgets, basic widgets from material data. It's again file which contains so many export statements. So we'll use many of the files widgets from this material dot. It's a basic widget where it contains many things, app bar. So we use many widgets inside this main code. For example, theme data, and then app bar, text center. So these are the basic widgets that we are using from here. So as example, if you see app bar theme, back button. So many of the widgets available inside this material. For basic widgets, we are using it from material. In case if we need any other widgets other than listed in material dot, we need to import those files as well. So for now, we are just using basic widgets which are available inside this material. For that, we are importing material, and this is the entry point in this file. So when you can see this run button here, so other than this, nothing else will get executed first. So this is the first entry point. Inside that, you have one function called run app. So this run app actually it will display that widget, whatever we return inside, we passing inside this run app function, it will render that function. We go inside this run app, it will have some attachment to the root widget, and whatever the widgets we are passing inside this run app, it will display that in our UI. Parameter to be passed inside this run app is basically a widget. So widget, in the sense, it's another class. This class returns one widget. So constructor, we are passing constructor here. That widget, that class returns one widget, and that widget is passed as a parameter for this run app. This run app basically renders those widgets which are the pass inside this run app function. So if you come to this myapp class, this is a class. This extends stateless widget. So it's again widget. So this tells how the stateless widget should be and stateful widget should be. So the stateless widget have some functions and stateful widget have some functions. If you extend the stateless widget, so this my app class also has the same access to that functions which is present inside the stateless widget. First, we are having one constructor where constructor key is nullable, and we are passing that key to the super class. Okay, after that we are overriding on function which is called as build. For that function we have return type. So basically the keyword before the function name is return type. So return type for this function, this overridden function build, is widget. So this function gonna return one widget of this type widget. So inside this function, so for this function we are passing build context. So context is basically the information represented by this widget. So that's a context. Type of that context is build context. Inside that function we are returning again one widget. So this material app is again a widget. So everything, so you for your easy understanding, for the sky blue color keyword is everything is a widget. So you can see this material app is a widget, this one and this theme data is widget, and then my home page is widget. But this my home page, that we are user defined widget. If I come inside this, scaffold is another widget, app bar is widget, text center again here text, everything is a widget. This is a inbuilt widget. Material app is inbuilt widget. This have certain parameters like title, theme, primary swatch. Apart from that, we have multiple parameters inside this material app. If you go inside this material app, you will see the list of parameters it have. Key, navigator key, scaffold messenger key. So these keys will come into later. This is one of the important key, but it's optional. We need to add whenever we need it, but now it's optional, so we can ignore. We have home, initial row, the title, color, theme. So we have multiple keywords, keys. So we can use whatever we need. Three important thing is title, theme, and home. This theme, we have to pass one more widget here. For this title, this is a constant title, so we can give directly a particular string here. So if you see inside this app, you can see this Flutter demo homepage. So this Flutter demo will append with here. This is the title for that widget, but we see text we see inside this is Flutter demo homepage. And for theme, we have theme data widget. This is a theme of your application. This is theme for entire page. This is the entry point. This will contain themes and styles throughout the application. So if you define the theme here, it will reflect in all other pages of your application. Here primary swatch color blue. If you change it to yellow and save it without reloading or making any change, you can see the change here. If you save some particular code, and that will reflect here. This is the feature called hot reload. If you have some other button, so this button background color by default it will have as a this primary swatch, this yellow color. And apart from this two important keys, we have one thing called home. So what data it should display inside this home page. So this area is called as home. Inside home, we have to return one more widget. This widget is a user defined widget which we defined my home page. This my home page, for this widget we are passing one more title. Inside this my home page, we are extending again stateless widget. Initially it was stateful, but we removed for our understanding purposes. This is again stateless widget. Here if you see, this is a constant page. We are not going to make any changes. So it's a stateless widget. We no need any state here. Here as well. Here inside this my home page widget as well, we no need any state. For that we are defining this as a stateless widget. Inside this we have one more constructor key, and this required keyword is title. This key is optional nullable, but this title is required, which means without this title you cannot call this my home page. So for that we are giving a required keyword. Without this will fail. And then we are defining one local variable title. Similar thing, we are returning one widget, overriding build method. Inside that build method we are returning scaffold. Scaffold is basically the home page. Home page in the sense what all we are going to have inside this page, it should wrap inside the scaffold. Scaffold have many features like app bar, body, and if you have floating action button, it should contain inside the scaffold. Scaffold have lot of features. So whenever we are moving to new activity, we are basically will use this scaffold. If we are using any internal or sub widget, we can use whatever we want. But if it's a full page application, we need to use scaffold. Inside that scaffold, we have one button, one feature called app bar, one key called app bar. In this app bar, we are printing this title whatever we want. Inside this app bar we have one, this is the app bar. Basically in Android and iOS, this is the app bar. In app bar we have one key called title. Inside the for the title we are passing text widget. This text widget will render the text. For this text widget we are passing this dot title. So what is this? This in the sense we are accessing this variable from this inside this class. So this basically denotes this title. So this for this title from where we are initializing is here, this dot title. We are initializing it from the page from where we are calling. So example, from my home we are calling this class. Here passing title, this will get assigned to this title, and we are using this dot title in this page. So this is the place from where this Flutter demo homepage is coming from. This is the app bar. And body is the region where below this app bar. If you remove this app bar, there is no app bar will be displayed here. After this app bar, there is a place below this app bar called body. This is the keyword which renders this body part. Inside that we are using center widget. Center widget is basically for aligning whatever content we are giving inside the center, in the center of the application. This is from here to here, this in this region, wherever the center position is, it will render content which we are giving inside this center. In center we have one keyword called child. We should give entire text or whatever we want to give inside this child. Inside this child we are having one more text. This text adds a hello world string here. This hello world is being converted into text and it's passed as a child. That is being rendered in center region of this body part. So this hello world is getting rendered in center of this body part. So that's why we see hello world in this center region. Since we are using static text here, we no need for any states to change here. That's why we remove the stateful widget and convert it into stateless widget. Initially, the default code which Flutter provides contains states to store the count number of times we click that button. So that's the reason why it has stateful widget, and here because of the static text we remove that stateful widget and convert it into stateless widget. So initially stateful widgets may be little confusing, so that's the reason why first we saw stateless widget and then we'll gradually move into stateful widgets. So this is the basic understanding of this Flutter, how this Flutter converted into this actual text. So whenever we run this button, this main function will get executed. If you see this main.dot will get executed. Inside that only executable part is void main. This is entry point. If you come inside this main, this runapp function is the only function inside this main. So this runapp basically renders a widget whichever we give inside this runapp function. So this is basically one widget. This widget gives returns one more widget. That widget contains one material app widget. Inside that we have one key called home. That home again returns one user defined widget called my home page. My home page in turns returns one widget. That widget contains one again scaffold widget. Inside that we have app bar and body tag which contains centers. Again inside that we have text. So this is the flow, this is the hierarchy it follows. This is a basic hello world program, and we saw how it works and how execution takes place in Flutter. In next video we will see simple architecture to understand how this widget structure works, because so see, if you see this app bar is again my app is widget, and this material app is again widget, theme data is again widget. So how Flutter differentiates a user defined widgets, and how it knows which widget should render if you give what happens if you give a material app inside this text as well. So for that we need to understand architectural level how this Flutter works. In next video we'll continue with that architectural architecture which Flutter follows. So thank you.